Union Maps, walking the scene with you in old flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. The insight so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands tall. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Welcome to the VHS Club. We are so excited that you're here tonight. We're talking all about Grease Lightning with the one and only Jeff. Welcome back to the show, Jeff.
Oh my God, it's so good to be back. Hello, everybody.
I cannot tell you how insanely excited I was when you're like, let's do Grease. And I was like, why have we not done Grease yet? I'm very excited. There's nothing better than getting to rewatch a movie that you just love. So full disclosure tonight, this is going to be a love song to Grease. So if you're not a fan, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. You're wrong. Well, it looks like Josh says that Grease is one of his mom's all-time favorite movies and one of his as well. Paul's hanging out at Blockbuster, which makes me insanely jealous because take me back to those days. And whoever else is hanging out with us in the live studio audience, let us know if you've seen Grease before, if it's one of your favorites. Yeah, we need to know.
Yeah, how do can I see the I can't see the comments.
You can't see the comments. You know, you can see them when I put them on screen. So look.
Right.
Boop, boop, boop. You're like one of the listeners tonight, so I'll just read them all out loud to you, Jeff.
Okay, that's fine.
So that you can.
Yeah, so it was exciting to. I've had Diane Manoff on my podcast, Marty, the Pink Lady, and so that was cool. And I've interviewed one of the T-Birds, and I interviewed Adrian Zmed, though he's Grease too. And so it was, kind of cool. Oh, and then Adrienne Barbeau I had on my show. She was the original Rizzo on the play. She originated Rizzo.
Wow.
She won the Tony or whatever. Yeah.
That is so okay. So since we said this, we should kick off by just giving a little bit of background on who you are. You've been on the show before, but you have not one but two shows, and you interview all kinds of incredible people, like all of the names you just dropped. So let us know about your show so we can swing on over.
Sure. I wish I still had two. The live show is on hold, so that's why
I'm still counting it as two because I know we're going to force you to bring it back. So
we're going to force, yes. It's going to be called the Betamax Club. It's going to be really huge.
Perfect.
We're going to talk about old movies.
We'll go back to back. You could lead into our show. We'll start Betamax and then go into VHS Club.
That'd be cool. But ultimately, we know how that ends. They pick you, even though our quality is better.
It's true.
And
it's true. We win every time.
Betamax humor. Who knew? And so my podcast is Classic Conversations. Actually, I am May 25th is my 5th year. 5 years. I turned 5 years old. Crazy, right?
Congratulations.
Over 370 episodes. I talk to classic stars. I would talk to less classic stars. They just aren't as open to be doing my podcast.
You found the perfect.
I like to say I talk to I talk to people who were very famous when they were famous.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
That's the world that
yeah.
I live in. You know, we were chatting right before we jumped on, and every time that I'm on any kind of, call or chat with anyone, they're always like talking about all the things that they're watching, and I am so like the newest show that I'm watching right now is 10 years old. Like I just live entirely in the past. So that's completely your show is like perfect for me. I need to only hear about celebrities that used to be famous talking about all of the things that they used to do. That was probably right what I'm watching now, like what I'm living in.
Yeah, it's funny, but like what I learned is it's interesting because people are like, "Who's the most famous person you ever talked to?" And I'm like, I realize my definition of that is very different than somebody else's, and I finally realized that it doesn't matter what name I say if you're of a certain age, meaning not as old as me. When I say and Carol Baskin from Tiger King, and this is on the heels of Ed Begley Jr., Ed Asner, you know,
Oh no.
like a lot of famous people, and they'll be like, "From the Tiger King, you talked to Carol Baskin." Oh my God, he talked to Carol Baskin. I was like, yes, I talked
Oh.
to Carol Baskin, who was actually a very lovely person who did not kill her husband. But we could do that in a
Says
different.
you.
I think it's pretty much they found him. I think later they found
I
him.
think they did actually find him, and I'm totally
Yeah.
just joking. I am much more excited about the other names you just said than I am about Carol Baskin, but we just
Yeah, well, it's yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is funny. Like I haven't aired an episode yet of the person I'm about to reference, but like I was so excited to get this person on my podcast, and like I tried for years. There's not a lot of people that I continuously reach out to. Like I may reach out to someone if I don't hear. Maybe if 8 months later I think of it again, I'll re-email, and it's worked. I've had people not respond to the first one, but respond later. But this person was always like, call in 3 months, buzz in 3 months. And finally they're like, yeah. And I'm like, and I'm
like,
telling
what?
everybody.
Yes.
And everybody I tell, I'm like, oh my God, I got this guy on my podcast. And everyone's like, who is that? And I'm like, are you kidding me? And like, look at this picture. And they're like, oh yeah. Like,
Well, you were in the right place because tonight we're going all the way back to 1978 and we are hanging
yes,
out with
this is
all of the
home.
coolest
This
people.
is
So,
home.
welcome home. And I'm going to force you, since Nat's still on break, I'm going to force you to be Nat tonight and give us the short Nat IMDb version of what this movie is about for the 0 people who have not seen it yet. But let us know what this one is about.
Okay, but let's start this properly. I'm
Okay.
going to turn around. Then you go, hey, Dwoskin.
Okay. Hey, Dwoskin, tell us what Grease is about.
That's from the movie. Yeah. So Grease is based on a Broadway play.
Mhm.
So it was at one point the most successful adaptation of a musical. And I think the most successful one for quite some time. And so Grease is, and as I say this, some of you might be going, that sounds like High School Musical. Very similar. But they did it first.
None of those people are here.
You had
I assure
Good
you.
Girl. You had Sandy,
Uh-huh.
who is Olivia Newton-John, and Danny Zuko, who's John Travolta. And the movie starts, and they are in love. They're on vacation, and they meet, and they fall in love and have an amazingly romantic summer. But then you flash forward, and like high school is starting, senior year. They're going to rule the school,
Mhm.
and so. The Danny Zuko that we saw on the beach romancing Sandy, Olivia Newton-John, who was just a normal guy trying to be normal in the world, is the leader of the T-Birds, who the cool greasers in the school.
He's
It's the
kind of a
club.
big deal.
Kind of a big deal. They're the T-Birds, and the Pink Ladies are like the girl version, which is sort of like they're matched up a bit. So it's like the guy, and they rule the school. They're the coolest people ever. And then, as fate would have it, Sandy, Olivia Newton-John's character, who was changed from her point of origin in the play to Australia because Olivia Newton-John is Australian, so they
Yep.
change her name and stuff. somehow her family transfers randomly to the same exact high school that Danny Zuko goes
Wouldn't
to,
you
the
know
boy
it?
she was in love
Yeah.
with. Well, I mean, what are the odds? And I mean, thankfully, pretty good odds, because otherwise, that's the end of the movie right there, and we're only
True.
5 minutes in. And so the Pink Ladies meet Sandy, and then she just just kind of casually drops the name, and they realize, oh wow, Danny Zuko was their boyfriend, and so they meet, and then it's sort of like the whole thing about their romance, whether just them coming to terms with each other throughout the movie. It's a musical, lots of music, and then at the end, and we can discuss this. Some people complain that she changed too much to be with him, but he changed as well, and then they romantically fly off together. And so it's a romance. It's a romance at the end of the day, and it's a love story. It's a love story.
It is a love
Boy
story.
meets girl.
Yeah.
Boy loses girl. Boy randomly meets girl again at high school. and boy meets and boy and girl end up together. So, and the journey along the way,
And the journey along the way,
which I think is, I'm sure we'll dive in. And so, so that's it.
well,
The whole time is will they, won't they
will they,
rekindle the romance?
will they, won't they? And I love. There are so many moments. Okay, so I'm gonna give you I think my favorite moment. I will probably change later in this episode and be like, that's also my favorite moment. But one of my favorite moments in this movie. So Danny, the main character played by John Travolta. So as Jeff was just saying, he's like too cool for school. And when he finds out that this woman that he's like actually really likes, like, is there, he starts off by being super excited to see her, and then realizes that all of his friends are watching, so he goes back to like cool guy. And then as the movie progresses, he's like trying to win her over and battling between like cool guy and actually who he is. But there's this moment where he decides that he's going to try to like win her back in some way, and so he goes to the gym teacher coach guy, and he like is trying to be like sporty cool guy, which he clearly is not. He's car mechanic heavy smoker guy. And so he goes to school, and they're trying to figure out like what sport he might do. And that little montage of him like failing at every sport is just my favorite. Like his body movements in that, and like how ridiculous it is, and how how hard he's trying and yet totally not trying hard enough. And then the teacher/coach's reaction to all of it. It's just, for a start, he's like, oh, he likes to hit people. He's gonna be in a baseball. Let's put him in a like, he just keeps trying to find like a place for this person. And meanwhile, all I can think is like, isn't there just like a gym class? Like, are these all just extracurriculars? Like, is he not going to like a normal gym class? I don't know. I just love that moment. That like the little montage of him just trying to be like who he thinks she will like in these completely absurd, ridiculous ways. One of my favorite moments. Do you have a favorite moment in this movie, or moments in this one?
That is, there's a lot of funny, good moments. One of the more awkward, funny moments is when they meet each other for the first time at school, and he's genuinely has a moment of pure
Giddiness,
adulation, and excitement, and then realizes he's standing with all his friends,
Yeah.
and can't be that person.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and he starts to go, and she's, you're not the Danny Zuko I fell in love with. He's like, well, maybe there's two of us, maybe you need to take out a missing persons report. And so it's like, it's really awkward. And then he doesn't like that version of himself. And so that's, part of the journey. But I love there's some classic scenes, but if I don't just pick the obvious ones, I really like the National Bandstand scene.
Yeah.
Where they're dancing
Yeah.
and all that. I mean, there's just so many.
There's so many.
Pieces.
I mean,
I have the songs up, so we have to pick our
top
I
was gonna say, we definitely have to pick our top 5 songs. So as Jeff and all of you hanging out with us are thinking about your favorite song or top 3 or 5. We're not going to be picky. So pick your favorite song if you've seen and love this one. But while we're doing that, I want to Kira's hanging out with us, and Kira's is saying the thing that's on my mind from the moment I turn this on again. Kira says, "Don't hate me. I always love the music, but remember watching this even as a kid and thinking, those aren't high school students." Yeah, it's because they weren't. Like, not only were they the trope of being like 20 somethings, many of them weren't even 20 somethings. Like, a few of the actors in this movie were in their early 30s playing high school students. One
They
of
were
them
pretty
had
much
gray
all late
hair
20s.
starting. Like,
Yeah, they were pretty much
yeah,
a minimum 10 years out.
yeah, yeah.
And, it's funny because like you watch it now and it's like, it's not even close.
No.
I mean, sometimes like you sit there and you're like, these people are old, and it's like,
Which is so ironic because I'm sitting here now in my 40s being like, wow, you guys are so old. And being like, yeah, no. But also I kept comparing it this time around to High School Musical, which I actually also really enjoy. But I was like, those, like, the actors in that movie are like total babies compared to these actors. And the situations that they're going through are also like so watered down compared to the situations that the characters in Grease are going to. It's night and day. Like, it's the same basic story. Like, High School Musical is definitely ripping off Grease to some level, but like nothing at all the same. So yeah, go for it.
So when I was doing my research for Grease 2, when I was talking to Adrian's Med, High School Musical, I believe, had its origins in originally being meant to be Grease sequels. And not the High School Musical version, but they were repurposed.
Yeah.
Because Grease 2 was meant to be the beginning of an empire, part of a trilogy or a continued set of movies. And when Grease 2 bombed, they kind of abandoned that. So, I mean, when you watch High School Musical, the beginning of High School Musical is literally what I just described, where the two of them are somewhere else and then she goes to that school.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically Grease, exactly Grease. It's sort of like a remake for the ages. And which she then went on to be Rizzo in Grease Live.
Yeah.
Vanessa Hudgenson.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was like prime time with my kids were at the right age. Mm-hmm. So watching High School Musical, High School Musical 2, maybe by 3, I mean, Sharpay, all of them were like, we had a High School Musical birthday. One of my kids had a High School Musical birthday. And so, I remember going to Disney World and they would, like when you go to Disney World when things are happening, and they fit them in, that we would stop and watch a High School Musical pop up, basically singing and dancing in the street. Right. And then, so yeah, it was really cool. So.
All right. Well, I know I'm jumping all around, but I'm loving some of these facts that are coming through. So Paul is saying that the high school was right next to a pork plant, so everything smelled like bacon.
That is true.
Which just cracks me up.
So it's interesting because like this movie comes at the height of you had the Henry Winkler trivia and the thing, but like this comes at the height of John Travolta. Welcome Back, Kotter. I think he had just filmed, or he was just about to film. This is part of the same movie deal with Saturday Night Fever and a third movie, which nobody remembers, which I don't remember either.
Irrelevant.
And so, which is interesting because this is his star vehicle, because he's the big name. It's interesting because like Grease Lightning in the play is actually a Kenickie song.
It's a Kenickie song, yeah.
And Jeff Conway, who plays Kenickie, was Zuko for a very long time, even when Travolta was in the same play and Travolta was just one of the other T-Birds. Mm-hmm. Jeff Conway was Danny Zuko. He was the main character in the play. So he's Kenickie in the movie, and this is supposed to be his song, but Travolta contractually had songs. Like Hopelessly Devoted to You was written for the movie for Olivia Newton-John because contractually they had to create a song for her or have her sing more. And so it's weird. Like I never knew that until this last viewing of Grease, like last week.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, it makes absolutely no sense that John Travolta sings Grease Lightning.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And again, same as you, like I never would have noticed that if I hadn't read that fact. But yeah, once you know it, you're like, oh, you can't really unsee it. And then it's just really sad because not only did like he steal steal quote unquote that song, but then like the actor who plays Kaneki has like this really tragic ending because he gets hurt in the making of Grease and then gets addicted to painkillers and then ends up dying like years later, but like as a result basically of addiction. So it's just this tragic, I mean, unfortunately, like so many movies, the kind of behind the scenes of a lot of these movies is not quite as nice as the shiny finished product. But that was a sad part behind that song because that song is so iconic. And, and John Travolta is so phenomenal in this. But yeah, it's interesting. I was wondering, so Henry Winkler and Carrie Fisher were both like among other actors that were considered for the leads. And I was like, can either of them sing? Like, did either of them sing? Like, do you know?
I maybe Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher could seem to be able to do anything she
Yeah.
wanted. So, she was awesome.
I can't imagine
Henry Winkler. I've never seen Henry Winkler sing in anything. It had to have been him coming off the Fonz or something.
I can see him as the character, but I just can't see him like singing and dancing. I mean, not that there's like a ton of dancing, but just like the movements would have been it. I don't know. Like everything else, once you know who the actors are, you're like, no, that's wrong. That would have been wrong if that had turned out.
So another thing that I never noticed before that I found out I was watching, and like, sometimes so I'm watching the movie and in the dance scene, the National Bandstand scene, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John are doing their thing and they're dancing. They're dance partners, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, in the middle of their competing, and go watch it because it's really awkward. And I never know. Maybe it's just me, but I never noticed it before.
I'm excited to hear what you have to
say. But just out of nowhere, Sonny, Michael Tucci, one of the T-Birds, literally just kind of takes Olivia Newton-John out of the scene.
Yeah.
Like for no reason, just removes her from the scene.
Yep.
And then Cha-Cha ends up finishing the dance, and her and John Travolta win the dance contest together. And I'm like, that just seems so odd. It's like, why? Because he purposely removed her. I mean, no one would do that. It didn't even make sense. So then I learned that the reason that happened is he wins the contest with Cha-Cha. That's the play. I mean, and he does that, but she wanted to dance, Olivia Newton-John. So they worked it in and then just kind of remove her from the scene, and Cha-Cha comes back into it and they finish it up.
I mean, it does make you like dislike him more. Not that it's Danny's fault, but it's like you just feel so bad. You feel so bad for her because she's like there with him at this dance, and she's such like a bright-eyed, bushy-tail kind of like girl at this school where she's like finally like got the guy that she wants, and she's at this dance and she's all dressed up and having this like moment, and then she's just taken away. And then she also finds out that like he used to have like a moment with her, and then she's all jealous. Like you just feel kind of bad all the way around for her in that thing. Like high school dances were such an iconic like part of you could just feel the drama on it. And I mean, that one obviously would have been even bigger than that because it was like a big, this is a Canadian speaking, so I was like, even the idea of a bandstand is like, what is that? That doesn't exist at any of the Canadian schools.
And that has Sha Na Na in it. That's that was a popular band way back. Yeah, that was. So earlier when you were talking about, one of the cool things about Grease, I think, is when you're talking about the coach, that was Sid Caesar. And one of the cool things about Grease is a lot of the supporting characters were very classic actors from their heyday, like Sid Caesar, Dodie Goodman, Eve Arden, that was the principal in Blanche. I mean, if you really watch the Blanche character, Dodie Goodman, she steals the movie.
She steals the movie.
She is so funny.
She kind of reminded me a little bit, and only because I watched this one fairly recently again, but the principal's like assistant or the secretary
Oh,
from
and Ferris
Ferris
Bueller.
Bueller. Yeah, where she's just like you're right. She just like every scene she's in, she's captivating. I mean, the principal is equally awesome, but there's there's just something really captivating.
Well, the
about
two
her.
of them together, because
two of
Eve
them
Arden,
together
the
are great.
principal, is like the straight
Yeah.
actor. The
Yeah, you
straight man.
need the straight man
And-
and the ridiculous person, I feel
Yeah.
like, together.
But
for
Dodie
sure.
Goodman, if you go rewatch that, there's a scene where she's just making faces like this while like Sid Caesar's talking during the pep speech. And it is one of the funniest things. Like, and it is so funny. It's funny when you're like just watching it because you know you're going to talk about it. So you watch it.
Yeah.
You're not like just kind of glossing. You start to notice little things. And Dodie was great in Grease too as well. But
we will definitely have to do Grease 2, which I know is Kathy and Kenny's favorite. So we will have to have them come on and talk about Grease 2. Well, we asked everyone who's hanging out with us here live to drop in what their favorite song is. So let's go through some of these answers. It looks like Josh says Summer Nights is his favorite song from the whole movie because it was the song from the movie that he heard on the radio growing up, even before he saw the movie. Anna says that her favorite songs are Beauty School Dropout, The Letter from the Soldier, don't remember the title, the closing song, so many. How about you, Jeff? What did you have a favorite or top 3?
I think the combination of the visuals and the song for Summer Night, I think is amazing. But then I'd also have to say You're the One That I Want. And
Those
We
are
Go
mine
Together.
too.
Shamalama Ding Dong, like those. Grease Lightning I like.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Grease Lightning is like as an adult, and like you have kids too, right? So it's like you watch Grease Lightning. When I grew up, I'm older than you, but when I grew up, it wasn't uncommon in the early 80s for every talent show to have somebody lip syncing Grease Lightning.
Okay. So is it
Think about the
overdone for
lyrics
you?
to that song. There wasn't like a clean version. That
No.
didn't, you didn't have clean versions back then. That is an extremely dirty song. I'm not trying to be like our grandma says it's old.
No.
But it is, I mean, if you listen to the lyrics,
it really is, yeah.
it's an extremely raunchy song. Amazing song. But I'm saying only raunchy in the context of a middle school or elementary school talent show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you got like little kids going, I don't want to swear on this, but like
you can swear if you want to. It's all good.
So it's like, it's crazy. It's like it always cracks me up whenever that comes on. I mean, I gotta give some. Look at Me, I'm Sandra D is a fun song too. I say Beauty School Dropout's a classic. I agree with that. And like
the Frankie Valley theme, Grease is the Word. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. It is interesting.
How many people are live watching us right now?
We have 10 people hanging out with us in our quote unquote live studio audience hanging out. So yeah, lots of great feedback. So we do have. So Paul is always helping us with fact checking. And so the third movie we couldn't remember from John Travolta's trilogy is Moment by Moment, 1978. So Saturday Night Live
classic
Fever,
Moment by
Moment. I'll have to go back and rewatch that one.
That'll be next. We'll do that next week.
We'll do that next week. Yeah. I also didn't know that John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John were in another movie together in the 80s. Was it? Of course, now that I've said that, I can't remember the title, but I will have to look it up and I'll have to go back and rewatch because I thought they had pretty good chemistry.
Was also Xanadu. She was also Xanadu. Yeah. I think when they came back together, it didn't have the same, I think, magic that they had hope for or anything like that. But I'm trying to think what the name of that movie was because I remember it very much. So
it'll come to you.
I'm looking. Was it Look Who's Talking? No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. It was Look Who's Talking.
Twist of Fate? Was it Twist of Fate? No.
No, I don't think so. Well, here's another fun fact while you're looking that one up. The
Two of a Kind.
Two of a kind. That's it. The cast chewed about 100,000 pieces of bubblegum during the shoot, up to 5,000 pieces a day.
Yes. All right, if we're going to throw out random stuff, I got Rizzo's hickeys were real.
Yep.
Jeff Conway insisted on applying them herself. I mentioned it earlier, but Hopelessly Devoted to You
that was added
written
in
during the movie and shot after, and then just plopped in to the movie. And then Jeff Conway was so infatuated with Olivia Newton-John, he ended up marrying her
His
sister.
sister. Weird move. Damn.
I
I'm here for it.
let's debate, because I saw this thing recently. And I'd like your take on it. The people are like, I guess in the play, the idea of the play is everyone evolves, right? And this
Yeah.
one is more just about, and like the clip I was saying was they were complaining that Sandy, oh, a woman changes for a man.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
thinking to
Talking about the
myself,
ending. Yeah.
all she did was put on a black hot outfit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she pretended to smoke, you know what I mean? But like, but John Travolta spends the whole movie secretly changing to
Double
be for her.
standard. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I didn't, how do you walk away going, either say they both tried to change to meet in the middle,
Yeah.
or you have to say John Travolta's character did way more to change, or at least become, maybe he wasn't changing, but coming to terms with who he really was. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not that,
I'd
but either
agree with
way, I
that.
mean, it's
Yeah.
like all she did was like at one point, you know, on Thunder Road, go, "Hey, Dee Dee, can you help me with something?" And then she teased her hair and put it, you know, sewed herself into that black outfit, and basically just how you doing? Hot stuff, you know. You're the one of the one.
I love that song. I love that
You know,
scene. It both feels completely out of place with the rest of the movie and also is just fantastic. Like my personal, so in answer to your question, I agree with you. I don't like I did not when I originally watched it, nor do I feel now like she was like changed much more dramatically. And I do think it's like a little bit, I feel like she gained the confidence that she was missing throughout the entire movie. But again, I feel like that was like a personal journey and he was on a personal journey, and it just happened to be that that it was because of their relationship. But she was also trying to figure out like who she was and how she fit in with, you know, this new friend group. Like I think it was as about friends as it was with about him and about like this new kind of place that she was in. I like it. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I think it's also meant to be. Maybe it's more dramatic for her character because she's a woman, and there's this concept of like sexualization that's part of that as well, right? Where it's like she goes from being kind of prudish and standoffish, and she like, you know, hits his hand away and slams the door on him, storms out of the drive-in, to this like sultry, sexy sewn into her outfit at the end. Like, so maybe it's part of that, but that again, like that felt to me like she was just like embracing like how, I don't know, how hot and awesome she was, and she was in control in that kind of final scene. And
that song is all about how she wants to have all his babies.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We need to talk for a moment. So again, I like, and maybe it's just because I have younger kids right now, and it's like the headspace that I'm in. But like, holy cow! Like, I think that I watched this in like, so I grew up in a place that didn't have middle school. So go with me on the like, I would have been like middle school aged / early high school when I first saw this. At least my somewhat faulty memory believes that I was around that age. And like it's pretty inappropriate. Like it deals with pretty detailed, like as you said, like a lot of the songs are like pretty sexualized. Like they're just, you know, there are definitely like non-graphic but still sex scenes in it. She like there's talk of teenage pregnancy. Like there are pretty like heavy issues throughout this entire movie that like I just feel like today, again, like if you compare that to like High School Musical, it's like High School Musical is like laughably silly. Like it's just like, well,
that was just
he's a
pure
jock
diz.
and she's a brainiac, so they can't be together. Whereas this one is like,
He wants to sing the
yeah,
shame.
I know, yeah, he wants to
The
sing. What is that about? Whereas, you know, like Grease was like, yeah, I mean, night and day really, and from a issues standpoint, I guess.
I will say one of the greatest disappointments in my life, it's top 10 easy, is finding out Zac Efron didn't even sing.
Oh, don't tell me that. I thought
Yeah,
no, break
he
my
did not
heart.
sing. He did not sing in that movie at all. He was lip syncing the whole thing. Someone else sang it.
Aw. That makes me
Yeah.
really sad. Here's my fun story about Zac Efron when I first moved. So when I got married and I moved to the States, and for my first birthday here, I had almost no friends because I was an adult and I moved to this different city and my husband was working. And when you're trying to find friends and you don't have a job or kids or a dog or like any of these connection points, it's really difficult. And so I had my like family and then my husband. And so he bought me this giant cutout of Zac Efron from High School Musical to be like the guest at my birthday party. And so this giant High School Musical Zac Efron has been in our house for years now, like since High School Musical came out. And it just moves like randomly around the house and is like up in our attic right now. And now like it's like out of a horror movie. It scares the absolute crap out of me every time that I go up into the attic. But yeah, that's every time I think of Zac Efron High School Musical, that's all I think of is this like giant cutout that we life-size Zac Efron that we have around our house. Really,
That's
I would
funny.
take a life-size John Travolta these days probably over a life-size Zac Efron, but hey,
Zac Efron, but Zac Efron's become quite an actor. I enjoy him a lot,
yeah.
actually. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yes. All right, let's see what else. What else we got? Oh, so here I learned this too in my studies, is that the original sequel, there's a scene where at the end where they're in the carnival and they're like, I flunked gym class. And then Sid Caesar, the coach, says, oh, you have to make it up in summer school, right?
Okay.
And that was supposed to be the pivot of the sequel.
Oh, okay.
They were supposed to come back for summer school, but that's according to Didi Khan. I confirmed it with someone else, but like, but yeah, that was the whole idea. But then eventually became Grease 2, which was directed by Patricia Birch, who was the choreographer for Grease.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. And Paul is saying that Travolta and Newton-John were both unavailable for Grease 2, which was a happy turn of events since that film proved to be a disaster. Yeah,
First of all,
it did not do
Mr.
well.
Moderator / Paul Duncan, bite your tongue. And
Don't make
I'm
Kathy
inviting-
and Jeff come after you because they both love that one. But
Grease 2 is the greatest. Let me just say this. Okay. Grease 2, the more is the kind of movie you have to watch 50 times to really appreciate it. And
Okay,
it gets
fair.
good after that. You have to keep watching it. It's great. And I'll tell you something. If you watch Grease and then Grease 2 back to back, the tone of both those movies is identical.
Is it really?
I mean, it's like
now I'm gonna have to go.
The
I'll watch it.
songs in Grease 2 are making their way around TikToks now. Even the choreography, because
Making a
Patricia
comeback.
Birch did it too.
Yeah.
Grease 2 opening scene, we got back to school or whatever it's called, is amazing. There's a Cool Ride. You can't beat Cool Rider or I'll be your girl for all seasons.
See, now I've probably only seen Grease 2 twice, maybe
gotta see it
twice.
at
So,
least
and
two
I
more
have
times, and-
I have no memory of it at all.
We're
So
gonna
I-
bowl tonight. And a reproduction. It's like some of these songs are like they're great. They're great.
Would you say that you like Grease 2 better than Grease 1?
No, but
no,
Grease 2
absolutely
has
not.
Grease 2 has a place. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think of it even as like, I mean, they're both called Grease and Grease 2, but I mean, I feel like you can separate your brain a little bit and just go, it's in the same world. Because it really doesn't make sense, because it's like you have all these T-Birds and these pink ladies, and it takes place the next year because Didi Khan's character is still there. And why wouldn't they have those T-Birds and pink ladies have already been at the school? You don't just show up. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't graduate and then 4 new ones show up. It's not like, anyway. What do you think about the song Grease, the opener? Because that's not from the play. They've sort of adapted some of the stuff into the play, sort of a hybrid, not all of it, but like I love the song Grease, but apparently the director Randal Kleiser hated it.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like You're the One That I Want either.
Huh.
But what does he know? I think Grease is one of the greatest theme songs ever, with the animation and all that. Grease is the word that you
Yeah,
heard.
I liked the animation intro, and I liked the song. I mean, I liked all the songs. So like, this is one of the soundtracks that I could listen to on repeat, and there's not a single song I would skip. Like I just like thoroughly enjoyed all the songs. I did read that they like, I guess there was talk initially for this entire movie to be animated, which would have been a really interesting different. I like can't fully picture that in my head, but I did like the animated intro, and I kind of wish we would go back to that with some movies. Like Better Off Dead has that as well in the intro, which is another favorite movie of mine. And I don't know, yeah, I dig it. I like the I like the song. I like the animated intro. I don't think it's the best song out of the entire, like it's not my favorite out of all of them, but I thought it was good. So is it three then songs that were not in the play that were in the movie? So the Grease, Hopelessly Devoted to You, and then You're the One That I Want. Those three.
The drive-in movie one is different for the movie
Okay,
too.
interesting.
There was one called Alone at the Drive-In or something. Instead, he goes, Sandy, that, with the little animation in the background. And then there's some songs that were cut that are, some of them are played in the background or by the band or something like that. But there's, Freddie, My Love, or It's Raining on Prom Night. So there's some different songs. And we talked about Grease Lightning being redirected. In the musical, Sandy's name, as I mentioned this earlier, Sandy Dombrowski.
Yeah.
She's Polish. And then they changed it to Sandy Olsen because she's Australian in the movie.
I mean, they barely say her last name, so I don't know if it necessarily matters.
It's always Sandy. I wouldn't even have known she had a last name. So
exactly. Does she have a last name? It's just Sandy and Danny.
Yeah. I mean, So, but as like dirty as the movie is, the plays, I think, it's supposed to be even worse.
Interesting. I've
raunchy.
never seen, well, I've seen like high school versions of Grease, but I've never seen like a Broadway version of it. And it was one of the posters I was looking at, I don't think it was this one. One of the other posters, no, I was looking at was said that it had been the poster said it was the longest running musical. So I guess it was at the time, because I think Cats still is now, right? Ugh. Let's not talk about Cats. And I did see a fact. Let me just scroll back here to find it. So this movie broke the 13-year record set by The Sound of Music as the highest grossing musical film worldwide, and itself held the record for 14 years until it was surpassed by Aladdin. Ooh, prefer the music of Aladdin or prefer the music of Grease?
I don't know that we should even put those together. I mean, they're very different. They're both good,
different.
right? They're both good.
They're both great.
Yeah.
I hold different levels of nostalgia. I'm like, I don't know, Aladdin. I do love Aladdin.
Hopelessly Devoted to You is the only got an Academy Award nomination.
Yeah.
It lost to. Do you know what movie it lost to? What song?
I did read it earlier, and now
Last Dance.
Remember. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. It's a good one to lose to. I mean, if you're going to lose to a good one. So.
You're going to lose. Do you have a favorite character from Grease?
A favorite character?
Yeah. I mean, we did talk about how iconic the secretary and the principal are. As far as backup characters, quote unquote, go, they're probably my favorites.
I think low key, my favorite character is maybe Didi Khan, Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Frenchie because she gets to wear all those wigs, and she's really always trying to find herself and reinvent herself throughout the movie. I find her adorable because she's sort of like the Sandy's guide. Also,
yeah,
the movie.
She's really the only nice one other than Sandy. Really, like the other ones are not. I mean, Rizzo's like overtly mean, but I don't know. The rest of them are kind of like eye roll. Okay, it's fine that you're here, but we're not thrilled necessarily about it. Frenchie's just very like
Rizzo might have been mean because she was 40.
Yeah, it's true. She was having all kinds of other feelings. Yeah. Oh man, she's so fantastic though. I like it. There's something about.
Stockard Channing's amazing.
Yeah, she's just amazing. There's not a bad actor in this entire, even all of the kind of the supporting roles are all they're just really, really well done from start to finish. and this is probably what you get in a musical versus, versus a non-musical, but just even like the movement of the actors is perfect and flawless in every way. Like I like everything kind of about it just feels, I don't know. I guess there's a musicality to their movement. They're just like they have kind of a fluidity to it that I think is really fun to watch as well.
Okay, so if you could only hear one Grease song, and then you could just one time, and you could never hear another Grease song again,
Oh no.
which one is it?
I think it's probably Summer Lovin'. I think you?
You mean Summer Nights?
Summer
Yeah,
Nights, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
You knew what I meant.
No, I did. But I was prepared to say Summer Nights, and you said something like, I think. Wait a minute, are we talking?
Are we talking about the same song? Where are you, Katie?
Because it's great. Because it's like, tell me more, tell me more. You know, it's like I think it's. Yeah, I agree. But I think it's probably blasphemy to say my favorite song is maybe Grease.
No, I think it's no. I think you can like whatever you like. Yeah. No, I don't know. This is a
Thank you.
there's no rules here. Yeah, Kathy's pointing out, speaking of Stockard Channing, there's a Practical Magic 2 coming out, which is going to be really exciting. I hope. We'll see. I hope it's
awesome.
exciting.
Is she in that?
I actually don't know. Maybe Kathy knows. I know that the 2 leads are coming back, but I don't know if Stockard Channing is in it.
Did you ever see Rise of the Pink Ladies? I never saw that.
No, I never saw that. I'm going back through the movie in my mind, trying to think through if there's any like scenes and or moments that we didn't.
I thought it was creepy that Vince Fontaine hit on Marty, because you gotta think he was in his 30s or 40s.
Although not
she's
surprising for the movie or for the time, I guess, as sad as that is for me to say that. It's kind of like, yeah, that fits in. That feels like, yeah.
Right. Well, it's one of those things you don't think about, but then when you think about it.
Yeah. I do love where she's like, Marty, maraschino, like the cherry. she's just so cute, like throughout. I don't know. She's great. I also love where she's writing to all of her like lovers with all their photos, and she's like, you can have one of mine, and then hands the paper over and then sprays it with the perfume. I just remember thinking that was like so cool. I'm like, oh, I want to write letters and like spray them with perfume. There's we didn't talk about which I did not know until today, so in the sleepover scene, which I viscerally remember being totally shocked that they were going to pierce her ears in the bathroom, like basically without her permission and with that was just like totally fine, normal. But in that scene there's a photo of Elvis in the background, and I guess they were initially, I can't remember the full details of it, but they were going to have more mention of Elvis or some kind of involvement in it, but I guess that scene was filmed on the day he died, so when they were like coming closer to releasing the movie, it was just this like kind of shocking thing where they knew that they had filmed that scene with like his photo in the background and literally on the day that he died, which is just a weird turn of events and kind of, I don't know, interesting now that I think about it.
That reminds me, do you remember the Police Squad TV show?
Yes. I didn't.
Okay,
I'm not well enough to be able to give you any info about it, but yes, that I know it existed.
Well, there was, like they would say the guest star would get shot and killed in the credits.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of those that they filmed was John Belushi, and then he died before it aired, so they never aired it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It
You just
nuts.
reminded me of that. So what else?
The mooning. Yeah, Paul's reminding me that at the cast party, the T-Bird actors handed out buttons with a picture of them mooning the camera.
That was really their butts too.
I did love that scene. Apparently the entire the filming of that scene in the school, that it got so hot. It was like well over 100 degrees while they were filming that, which again, you hear these stories in the making of these movies. I just can't even imagine I would be passed out. Like I can't imagine having to work in that kind of condition, especially since they were wearing like pretty thick clothes, like heavy dresses, coat, like jackets, like they were fully, it wasn't like they were in like shorts and t-shirts or tank tops.
Yeah. And then let's not not give kudos to a young Lorenzo Lamas, who, if I'm going to be honest, Sandy, Olivia Newton-John, shit on him pretty bad. She did him wrong. She did him dirty.
Pour one out for him. Yeah.
And then apparently Michael Biehn is in this movie. Michael
Really?
Biehn is, for Terminator fans, the guy who goes back in time and impregnates Sarah Connor and is technically John Connor's dad, I guess. And so he was,
John
he was
Connor's
in a
dad.
bunch of James Cameron movies, but most notably the Terminator. I guess he has a small role. He was supposed to be the Lorenzo Lamas guy. And then
John Travolta's
I guess Roger
sister,
Ebert,
isn't it?
to what we were talking about earlier. I guess Roger Ebert, hey, tape heads. The scene's not, hey, Mick. I guess Roger Ebert called out the fact that they were so old.
It's funny, like I don't think I feel like when I was growing up, like all of the like teenagers in all these like TV shows and movies were always like in their what felt like their 30s. So like I feel like watching it the first few times, I did not necessarily notice that, or like it didn't feel odd to me, but definitely rewatching it this week, I was like, wow, they are very old. Like it is noticeable how old they are. So yeah, it is. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if there's just been a shift or if it's just like a perception, but I definitely felt it a lot more this time than I did originally.
You can picture a young kid watching going, why are all the teachers
Yeah.
acting like students?
Yeah. I mean, even like if I think of like, I was watching like Dawson's Creek and I like that none of them looked at all like teenagers. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Fine.
Well, they were always a little older. I mean, most of the teenagers always played a little older, but this was like way older. This is like, these people were young adult, like could have been playing people with young kids.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Awesome.
What else?
Well, we've just about come to the end. So we will, if you have any final thoughts, we can throw them in, but we can also let everyone who's hanging out with us drop in their ratings. So if you're new to the show, we rate entirely based on deep feeling and nostalgia. There's no right or wrong. But we get the final say. So whatever you have to say, you can share it and let us know while I swing through here and see if I missed anything. Kira said that, I need to drop this one up first. One sec. She said that she thought the Goofy movie, which is on my list of ones to rewatch, is kind of like an animated version of Grease but with a father-son relationship mixed in. Yeah, I can see that actually. I feel that. That one's on my list. Josh agrees. I wonder how many times this movie and this play has been kind of repurposed, sort of like Romeo and Juliet vibes, where it just gets repurposed. And Jeff, you have Headbangers History is hanging out, apparently your best friend. So thanks for hanging out with us here tonight.
Hey Fred, what's up, buddy?
Fred.
So one other interesting note is Grease, the play, was 72, and then you had American Graffiti, all of 50s nostalgia.
Yeah.
And that is the combination of that surge is what eventually led to Happy Days actually becoming a series.
Oh, interesting.
It was part of it. Happy Days had already existed as a failed pilot, which was not a spin-off of Love American Style. They just dumped it there to make back their money. But there was the Happy Days pilot was put on Love American Style. The pilot was not picked up. And then there was this like resurgence with American Graffiti, and which also had Ron Howard. And then they're like, get me a show. And they're like, well, we have one with this guy, so then that's how then they created a second pilot, and then eventually invented the Fonz, which, to bookend your original thing, eventually was up for the role in Grease.
I am going to have to do some deep research and find out if he can sing. Because like I saw that fact and I was like, okay, I get it because the Fonz, but also what?
I know he can dance.
Yeah, maybe he can, and I'm just being mean. Maybe
I know he can dance. No, I mean, the only people I'm aware of that can sing from Happy Days legit sing is Anson Williams and Donnie Most.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like those two for sure.
Yeah.
I know can sing, but I don't think. I mean, I've never even seen him. You know, I know he can like go to do his hair and then realize he's cool and not do it, but I know he can do that. But
I mean, it
other-
is interesting because then they hired Olivia Newton-John, who they weren't sure if she could act, and I think she pulled it off pretty well for being like a singer.
she insisted
trying
on a
to be an
screen
actor.
test.
Yeah, she
She
did.
wouldn't just take the role. She insisted on a screen test because if she couldn't act, she didn't want. Because she was becoming she was a popular singer.
Yeah.
This is before Let's Get Physical, but which is a great video.
Which is a great video. It's a great song
prime,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, prime Olivia Newton-John, and so yeah, and then she, I think she did great. I think she was perfect.
I think she did great. This was a really fun rewatch. Thank you so much for choosing this one. It looks like Paul and I are on the same page. He's got 5 potatoes happening. Josh has got 4 cars. We'll imagine that those are,
Grease lightning.
Grease lightning cars, fancier cars than what they were. Yeah, we will go over. I was at 5. I gave this one 5 potatoes. I can't.
Who's that on the potato?
That's Christian Slater.
It is Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a little warped.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to wear a black shirt. I mean, it's just coincidence.
No, yeah. Like, I mean, you Christian Slater. Yeah.
No,
you
don't know for John Travolta. I was thinking more John Travolta.
Yeah,
but like
all the black shirt men.
Do we know who noticed my Grease album in the back? Huh?
There you go.
Just coincidence. It's always there.
You got to like turn your chair a little bit more so that people can fully see it. There you go. I was so sad because I wanted to take this photo of. I will say, I actually, even though the show is called the VHS Club, Nat owns a ton of VHS and I own predominantly DVD because I stupidly either gave away my VHS or don't have them anymore at this time. But I did have this completely adorable DVD copy of Grease that was like a whatever special edition, and it had a little leather jacket on it, and it was the cutest thing ever. And my dog decimated it, and and I forgot about that. So I went up like into my DVD area and I was looking for it. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like one that's on like, facing out on the shelf because of the cute leather jacket. And then I remember it all came flooding back to me. I was like, oh no. So I might have to do some Googling and see if I can find the same version to rebuy myself, because I don't know. I feel like this is one you need to own. If you're a movie collector, this is one you need to own. I had to rent this one on Amazon Prime, which killed me a little bit. I was like, no, I own it, but I don't own it anymore.
I feel like you could have found it for free somewhere.
I know.
Is it not free anywhere?
No, I'm a rule follower, and I could not find it free streaming on any of the. Maybe it was, but none of the services that. I think I have all of the services at this point, so I had to $3.99.
It's on Hulu.
It did, and I was like, oh, it couldn't. It was not, or at least it wasn't that I could find. But five Christian taters for this one, and another. Jeff doesn't know our rating system. Josh has this one on both VHS and DVD. Well. You are, as always, Josh, way cooler than I will be. I need to definitely get it back on DVD again. Well, I cannot thank you enough for jumping on the show again, Jeff. We'll have to have you back again. We are still, Nat's still out on break for a little bit longer, hoping that she can get back here soon. But thank you for everyone's well wishes and nice notes. And we are next week, we're talking Major League with another awesome special guest. I'm really excited for that one. And then we'll have to come on and do Grease 2 with Kathy and Kenny, because it's Kenny's favorite movie. And then who knows past that. So if you want to be on the show or have a favorite movie that you want to talk about, you'll have to just drop me.
I have a movie. I want to come back.
Come back.
Wait, what movie? What did you just mention?
Major League.
Oh, Major League in high school. That was one of my favorite shows. Matter of fact, I was just like, I was just watching something and they go, just a bit outside. And I'm like, oh, that's Bob Uecker from Major League. And in the fraternity, they would tease me. They would call me Wild Thing. And I wasn't. That's why it was funny. But I had that logo, his Wild Thing logo.
Yeah.
When I went to, remember you used to go to Florida and get those, I guess you
Mhm.
still can, those ridiculous spray
Yeah.
shirts or
Yeah.
whatever. So I had the Wild Thing logo on a shirt and
Perfect.
like sprayed, pure spring break. And I wish I still had that. That was
I was
such a
gonna
great
say
shirt.
you can only come on if you wear that shirt. So now you're gonna have to
Yeah, I
find
know.
it. You'll have to find a remake a
I think it
version
was
of
like
it.
the Major League logo with the glasses or
That's
something like that.
awesome.
But yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Well, we should probably get back to like real movies at some point that are not just slapstick ridiculous comedies. But you know what? We're living in our
Those are
slapstick
real
era.
movies.
They
I
are.
hate
They
to break
are.
it to you.
They
They
are.
are.
They are. I know. You know what? It's funny. Like the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't. Not that I don't like an Oscar winning like feel every feeling movie, but I don't really. I really just want to live in the slapstick comedy phase forever.
Right.
So some more
All
of
right. Well, the
those.
VHS Club brought to you by Doc Pops. If you don't want to have your peas pop, get a Doc Pop.
It's true.
DocPops.com.
DocPops.com. 3 P's.
All crazy
Popps.
colors. Look at these, blue and purple.
It's true. And if you're listening and you're like, what the heck are they talking about? Both Jeff and I have not multicolored, but different color. I forget what these are called. Wind screens,
Yeah, they're
windshields.
like,
I always call it the wrong
I'm
thing.
gonna
The
make a
thing over
noise,
your
but if this-
microphone. Yeah.
Yeah. See if it comes off like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see? Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So
Don't do that.
don't do that.
That's
Don't do
that's
that.
not good.
All
That's not good for
right.
anybody. But but I just wanted to show you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
That's DocPops.com.
Yeah.
Is proud sponsor.
Doc
of
is on it.
VHS.
Yeah, but the brand, not a sponsor. could be a sponsor.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah,
I was
hashtag
paid.
ad.
Doc paid me to come on.
Oh, there you go.
pitch
All
it.
right. Doc tricked me and got an ad on my show without even letting me know about it. Well, thank you so much to Jeff for hanging out. Thank you for all of you for hanging out with us in the live studio audience. Be sure to swing on over to the VHS Club pod.com. You can see our like full list of episodes that we've done before. You can leave us voicemails. You can rate and review, join our email list, all of that fun stuff. And definitely get in touch because we're still bringing on guests and guest hosts and who knows, maybe panel discussions and all of it. So open to any fun ideas that you all have, but hopefully we'll see you again next Thursday for Major League and then most Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern beyond that. Thanks for hanging out, Jeff. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Loved it.
Kicking naps, walking the